Good evening and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. This net takes place every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. I would like to thank all of you who have made the North Georgia GMRS the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. Your net control tonight is Atlanta 947, WQIR 514. My name is Julie.
And WRWM 344, Blue Ridge 63. My name is Mike.
And this is WSAL 368, Atlanta 263. My name is Rogers.
And this is WQIR 514, Atlanta 946. My name is Justin.
And this is WRUB 711, packed into the Vanguard, Atlanta 519. My name is Gary.
On the net, you can talk about your day's activities, radio equipment, or anything you think we would like to hear. This is a family-based network, so we encourage you to get your family involved. Guest check-ins are welcome from anyone with a valid FCC call sign. Once the floor is open, it's permissible to address other members of the net by their name or tactical unit number. Your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in and sign out of the net. Also, you can tune into our YouTube channel, follow along, and listen to how you hear to us right here in Studio Vanguard. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment so we know you are watching. This means the most to our channel to help it grow. I think I forgot the part of what repeaters are online. So who wants to give out the repeaters?
I have that. I was already waiting for it, waiting for my cue. So thank you, Julie. Tonight we are live on the following repeaters. We're live on Noonan, Flagship, Fort Mountain, Buckhead, Rome, Lula, McDonough, Jersey, Columbus, Zebulon, Watkinsville, Peachtree, Dallas, Toccoa, Cage Cove, White Oak Mountain, Chattanooga, Mount Roosevelt, Ottawa, Georgetown, and the list is so long we're good. That's all of them tonight. Julie, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So since everything is kind of out of order, I am going to tell you that tonight's topic is about Jeepfest this year. But before we dive into that, we're going to hand it over to Mike for this week's announcements.
All right, thank you, Julie. Good evening, everyone. This is Blue Ridge 63, WRWM 344. My name is Mike, and I've got this week's news and announcements live from Studio Vanguard. Several lunches and events coming up that I'll tell you about. These meetups are a great way to meet fellow members in and around your area. The first and the main one is the Biggins Barbecue. I've heard a lot of chatter about that on the radio this week, and several folks planning to attend. So I want to make sure you have all the details, the pertinent deets. That lunch is this Saturday, August 16th at 11:30 a.m. The restaurant opens at 10:30, but we'll be showing up and setting up at 11:30. Although the original organizer has stepped down, we do think it's a great location and a great opportunity for all North Georgia GMRS family, friends, members, and guests. Everyone is invited. The location is on 515 between Jasper and Ellijay. If you're an early arrival, you might be able to score an NGGMRS sticker while they last, and rumor has it there might be a few giveaways. We'll start setting up at 11:30 and plan to have a few door prizes, so hope to see everyone there. Next up, the Peachtree Corners Brunch Bunch. They meet the third Saturday every month at JR's Log House in Peachtree Corners. However, that is also this weekend, so that crew, Pamela, has deferred her gathering so that she and Ernest can go attend the event at Biggins Barbecue. So they would invite everyone from the Peachtree Corners crowd to come and hang out with Justin and Pamela and all the rest. If you do have any questions, reach out to Pamela, Atlanta 849, if you need more information. The next Northeast Lunch Meetup will be August 27th at 11 a.m. That crew will be at the usual location, the Roosters Cafe in Dahlonega. All members and future members are welcome. Most of that crew will be at the Biggins Barbecue this Saturday as well. If you have any questions, need more information, you can reach out to Atlanta 403 Bobby or Gainesville 44 Joe. The next West Side Luncheon was moved from Saturday, August 9th at the Taco Mac to Saturday, August 16th at Biggins. Seems like a recurring theme. Come join David, Lisa, Dana, Justin, Jonathan, Pamela, Justin, and everyone else at the Biggins this Saturday, August 16th. They'll have the Rabbit Hole crew there to enjoy some good food and fellowship. TBD if Biggins has rabbit wings.
Biggins will be big.
It will be big this weekend. Let me break. Next up, the Kennesaw Gathering. There's a note here that they will not meet in August due to some family commitments, but they will have their usual meet and geek. The next one will be Tuesday, September 9th at noon at the Old Town Grill on Cobb Parkway, right around from the McCollum Airport in Kennesaw. Meanwhile, plan to see all of you at Biggins this Saturday. Excuse me. For that meet and geek, you can bring your radio or any programming issues that you need to discuss or resolve, but not until September 9th. Ed will have his mobile test bench available, so you can reach out to Ed, Atlanta 557, or via email, wrqg806@gmail.com if you're planning to attend next month, so that he has seats for everyone and knows what radio you might be bringing if you need some help. Once your radios are programmed, you should join Ed, David, Lisa, Dana, Jonathan, Justin, Pamela at Biggins this Saturday. Let's see what's next. Our friends at the Gwinnett Amateur Radio Society, GARS, will be hosting a 2-day training session to assist in completing your general class amateur radio license. So if you're a current tech and you're interested in securing your general license, this is for you. That 2-day training session will be August the 23rd and 24th. The address is 690 Airport Road. It's at the Gwinnett County Airport, Briscoe Field, in the EAA 690 hangar. There's a $25 fee. That includes the training session and the exam fee. The exam will be Sunday at 4 p.m. If you have any more questions or need information about the session, you can go to gars.org/GARS. Pre-registration is required, but I cannot guarantee any free salads. Don't forget, the Chattanooga Hamfest 2025 is coming up on Friday, October 3rd, and Saturday, October 4th. The Chattanooga Amateur Radio Club and NGGMRS have teamed up to host this show at a great new venue. It's called the Colonnade, and it is in Ringgold, Georgia. Visit the Hamfest website at hamfestchattanooga.net for more information. This year's GMRS Fest will feature several speakers and forums from North Georgia GMRS with topics including dipole antennas, meshtastic, radios and preparedness, and GMRS for beginners. North Georgia GMRS and Hobbit Communications, as well as a brand new entity, TBD, to be announced, I guess that's TBA, will make an appearance at that new venue along with other vendors for the first GMRS Fest. That's it. If you have any questions, comments, news to share for upcoming announcements, please send an email to justin@nggmrs.org. All right, Julie, I think that wraps it up. I'll break and give it back to you.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Mike. Lots of good stuff. Some exciting things that's going to be unveiled at the Hamfest. So you're going to want to make sure that you're there in Chattanooga. So this week we talked that we're going to discuss Jeepfest. And I know we said we weren't going to Jeepfest this year. And it's true. Vanguard will not be at Jeepfest, and we will not be holding a directed net during Jeepfest activities. However, many members of North Georgia GMRS Network will be attending Jeepfest, and this is the perfect opportunity for our members to make a difference at this event. Although Vanguard will be absent, many of the communications and volunteer opportunities remain. Trailheads still need to be manned. Trail reports are still needed. Volunteer communication operators will be needed around the Sheriff's Command Center to relay messages to the Jeep operators. Jeepfest is coming up quickly. The night ride will kick off the event on Thursday, August 28th, and trails will open for rides on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. Let me break. More information can be found on the Sheriff's Jeepfest Facebook page, and links for registration can be found at sheriffsjeepfest.com. A new trail is open this year at the venue at Sharp Mountain on Saturday, so be sure to keep that trail in mind. During the night ride, we will host a net geared toward and all about the night ride. We'll visit with North Georgia GMRS members as they line up for the ride and hopefully while they're on the trail. We encourage all licensed users to check into the net and tell us about the event as it unfolds. For the duration of this event, the repeater network will be available to all members of North Georgia GMRS Network and any licensed user visiting our region. We encourage members and non-members to report trail conditions, news, and announcements on the network so those in attendance can remain informed and those who are en route can be aware of conditions as they often change throughout the weekend. Let me break. We ask our regular users to be sensitive to the Jeepfest event and keep conversations short so that information can be conveyed easily and quickly. Most importantly, we'd like the Jeep community to know this network will help if there's an emergency. We hope everyone has a safe, fun weekend at Sheriff's Jeepfest, and we look forward to hearing the Jeepfest participants on the air. If someone makes an emergency call, one of our ESN operators will handle the call and arrange for emergency services. Please remain aware of your location so services can be dispatched quickly if needed. These are just a few of the new user tips and operating procedures, and I hope you'll tune in next week for my next episode. And remember, if you have any questions or suggestions for new user tips and operating procedures segment, send me a note at julie@nggmrs.org. We are North Georgia GMRS Network, and this is WQYR 514, Atlanta 947, and I'm clear.
So if you're watching the YouTube stream, we're doing musical chairs right now. We play music sometimes, but we're all getting into our places. So stand by for just a second.
I'm just waiting for the music to stop.
The music, right there you go. All right.
All right. Well, typically we hide behind the log page as Julie asks for additional check-ins, and then she sneaks out off camera. But I think she forgot, but it's all good. Let me break. Oh, we weren't even on.
You're not on the air.
All right, let's try this again. After a couple of minutes of musical chairs and trying to figure out who's going to sit where, Mike tried to steal my seat, but I got him crowbarred out of it, and I think we're good now. So with that in mind, we're going to continue on with additional check-ins. Before we do that, let me go ahead and acknowledge we've got just a couple of YouTube check-ins here. We've got McDonough 45 Kai, and McDonough is a YouTube check-in, and we've got WREQ 398 R Ferguson in Hayesville, Kansas, checking in on YouTube, and it looks like Mike is punching in.
I'm just getting started getting these YouTube check-ins caught up. So,
I see 3 of them on your page and only 2 on mine. So, let me see if I can figure out why I'm not updating. And let's just do a little refresh. Oh, something hinky afoot. There we go. So Atlanta 266 Jeff and my screen just went blank.
766 Jeff.
Atlanta 766 Jeff. We'll have to come back to that once my page refreshes here. So let's go ahead and continue with check-ins from any repeater other than flagship. If you're checking in on a flagship machine, please hold your traffic until we get some of these other check-ins out of the way. Net control standing by.
This is WRKK 629 Chattanooga 84 checking in.
This is Atlanta 244 WSIC 587 Adam on Jersey checking in and checking out.
This is WSGN 280 CW57 Operator Bruce, Stevens, Georgia. This is Atlanta 350 Whiskey Sierra Hotel Golf 331 checking in and out. Thank you. This is WRXM 345 Gainesville 43 David and Winder checking in, checking out. This is McDonough 77 WSDW 921 checking in and out.
All right, let me go ahead and acknowledge this round of check-ins. We'll start off with some of these YouTube check-ins that we tried to get to and failed miserably. We've got Atlanta 766 Jeff in Monroe is a YouTube check-in. WSHN 839 Scott in Rossville, Georgia is a YouTube check-in. Atlanta 273 Mitchell in Canton is a YouTube check-in. We have a guest check-in from WQUJ 575 in Lynchburg, Tennessee, Lynchburg City, Tennessee. And we have Noonan 89, Alex in Hogansville. All are YouTube check-ins. Next we have from any repeater other than flagship. Chattanooga 84 Jim in Hickson is in with us tonight. Atlanta 244 Adam in Covington is in and out. CW57 Operator Bruce is from Stevens. We've got you marked as in, but we'll figure it out if you're not there when we come around. Atlanta 350 Ted in Tucker is in and out. Gainesville 43 David in Winder in and out. McDonough 77 Nathan in McDonough is in and out. And I just heard 810 call out to net control. Go ahead there, John. Let's
No, that was on. I think that sound came from there.
I was looking up something known for Jeepfest, so I think that might have been from another net.
There we go. Okay, I
Playing
was,
tricks on us.
I was messed up by the technology in here. So okay, that was not 810. I thought we heard a call out come in from him. I was kind of hoping that we would, but it's my understanding that he's not going to be able to participate tonight, and he's tremendously disappointed because he's out of town working somewhere.
Is that on the left coast?
I don't think he was in repeater range.
Yeah.
So it
and you know, it's particularly disappointing because I know that he has the means to bypass RF, but apparently he's either ill prepared or busy with work stuff this evening. So, which could very well be. In any case, no John for us tonight. But I do see an entry for WRYK347. That's all I have. So
That's all we've
more?
got. It's a YouTube check-in, and the tactical unit number provided doesn't check out. So I've asked for clarification, but I don't have that.
All
yet.
right, we'll round that one out when we get a little further along. Well, let's go ahead and continue with check-ins from any repeater anywhere, including the flagship machine. Net control standing by. I didn't think that machine had any audio.
Yeah, I didn't either. I never heard a sound.
Huh.
We're trying to figure out where that came from.
It's probably got speakers.
Yeah, I know the monitor has speakers, but I thought they were broken because I couldn't get it to play sound the other day.
This is WSGS 735, Noonan 40, Orestes, Palmetto, Georgia. Coming in and out.
Man, you were so fast at that.
It's become muscle memory at this point.
I think for me, it's muscle forgot.
Muscle can't remember.
Yeah, these muscles are spent. There.
Too funny.
Yeah.
All right, just a handful of check-ins here, and well, actually, two of them came from YouTube. So we'll grab those real quick. We got Chattanooga 208 Robert in Chattanooga is a YouTube check-in, as well as Columbus 25 Peter in West Point, and we also heard Noonan 40 Orestes from Palmetto is in and out. So those are the check-ins we have at this time.
Oh wait, hold on, hold the. We've got one more.
We got one more. So Dallas 20 David in Southwest Paulding County. Actually, he's in Matthews, North Carolina, goofing off doing something.
Something on YouTube.
Pretending it's work.
Yep.
But in any case, we've got David. We got you in a log and got you acknowledged there. So we'll continue with additional check-ins just before we close the program. So if you didn't get in, no fear. Just hang around. And just before we close things out for the night, we'll call out for one last round of check-ins. Or if you checked in and out, but you want to make a comment, we'll open up the floor for comments at the end as well. So if you decide that you've got Jeepfest comments that you'd like to make, but you maybe didn't realize, you can come back around at the end and get back into the conversation. So very good stuff. Couple of things I want to address that weren't in the announcements. Well, the first one is this. Our dear friend Ed Marsden, many of you will know him as Atlanta 7-3. Ed passed away this week. It's a very sad time for North Georgia GMRS. Ed has been a longtime supporter of North Georgia GMRS. He's been around much longer than I have. One of the early supporters for the network. And Ed has a unique. It's not entirely unique, but it's unique to us because he's the only one I've ever heard that has a KAF. I believe it's 9860. KAF 9860 is his call sign. Plug that into the log real quick if you would.
Yeah, I will.
And we'll just verify his call sign. But very, very unique individual. Atlanta 7-3.
That's what it was. That's what I was missing.
Atlanta 7-3. KAF 9860. I did remember it.
Yep.
So Ed has passed away, but many of you will remember he's full of wisdom and great ideas, and he was very good at remembering the one thing that I forgot to mention. So we're going to miss Ed, and but glad to have known him and been able to share the airwaves with him. But he'll be a North Georgia GMRS silent key. One more thing that I wanted to talk about before we get too far down the road, because I'm not sure if Mike covered this in the announcements. But this Saturday at 11:30, many. Oh, let me break. This Saturday at 11:30, many members of the North Georgia GMRS Network will be gathering at a restaurant up in the just short of Blue Ridge, up around between Jasper and LJ, off of 515, a place called Biggins. Maybe you've heard of it. I'm not entirely sure if anybody's made mention of it over the network over the last few days.
No, I don't think anybody said anything.
But come on out, look for us there. I've got some stickers. If you're looking for a North Georgia GMRS sticker to put on your vehicle, on your laptop, or on your radio, I got you covered. Come on out. I've got a whole stack of them. Come find me quick because once they're gone, they're gone. But I think we're going to have a stack of stickers to pass out at the Chattanooga Hamfest. So come on out and grab one from me at Chat Hamfest if you missed one at Biggins. I haven't seen the design. I don't know yet what it is, but I'm looking forward to the layout of this particular sticker. So we've got several stickers. Well, you can't see them. We've got several stickers from past events here in Vanguard, and we'll carry on that tradition and make a new sticker each time we do something significant. I didn't think that Jeepfest, since we're not going to be there, I didn't think we should have a Jeepfest sticker this year.
No, probably don't need one this year.
But for those of you that are unaware, Jeepfest is going to be happening at the end of the month. Come on out and crawl for the kids. It's a massive fundraiser. It's a heck of a lot of fun. Pre-registration for your Jeeps this year is $100. If you register on the day of the event, it's $120. So bear that in mind. If you get registered soon, you can save $20, and you can spend that money on a T-shirt or other memorabilia at the event. So definitely do that. If you're in a position where you'd like to attend Jeepfest, maybe you don't have a Jeep, but you'd still have an interest in riding a trail, come on out and spend some time volunteering on the grounds. You can get volunteer information at the Sheriff's Communication Command Center. Stop in there, ask where you're needed, and they'll get a spot for you. If you've got a multi-band radio, you might be able to tune into the Sheriff's VHF tactical channel, and as well as a GMRS channel, and be able to communicate on both as conditions change, needs arise, and things of that nature. If you can monitor a trailhead for a couple of hours or for the whole day, that would be wonderful, and that'd be a great way for you to get a chance to pick the Jeep that you'd like to go for a ride in. Hey, when you guys come back through another time, I'd like to hop a ride. I'm sure they'd be glad to accommodate you. So definitely check that out. Let me break. Definitely check that out. And there again, if you'd like to volunteer, you can send me an email, and I'll pass that information on to the Sheriff's Department that we have some volunteers from North Georgia GMRS, or you can just show up. Just show up and tell them that, hey, I helped out last year, I want to help out again this year, or I'm brand new. What can I do to help? And if you let them know that you're interested in working a trailhead or any other spot that they have, one thing that they'll need is they'll need somebody at the Communications Control Center to kind of interface with GMRS, so that if there's a message that they want to get out, like for instance, 2 years ago there was a lost child. Mm-hmm. If we've got somebody right there at their van, and they've got information they want to get out over our network, you can be key in making that happen. You can pass that on to one of our ESN operators, or you can make the announcement yourself over the network right there from the event. So hope that we have lots of participation from North Georgia GMRS members at the Jeepfest. So with that, Jeepfest is the topic of the week, and I know that many of our members will be planning on going there. We do have some contingency plans, right? So we knew that we weren't going to be there this year, but that doesn't mean we can't support the event. And one of the things that we are going to do, and I'm going to call on Dana here in just a moment, bring him to the front of the line. We're going to talk about what we have as a plan to provide for any emergency events that might occur during the Jeepfest event. Atlanta 250, Dana, are you there?
Justin, I am here, and for some reason I just knew you were going to call out, and well, you would want me to talk about something. So I'll go ahead and jump right into it. Justin and I have discussed and formulated a plan with the ESN, the Emergency Standby Net, to have what we call a passive activation. Let me break. This passive activation means that there will be no directed net. However, there will be net control operators in the wings at the ready should an emergency transmission occur. At that point, that net control officer will operator, will jump into action and take control of that emergency traffic. Let me break. Once, of course, the emergency has been cleared and the proper authorities notified, the airwaves will go back to normal. And again, throughout the whole weekend, net control operators that have been a part of the ESN will be in the wings ready to accept control of any emergency traffic. Justin, have I missed anything?
Very good stuff, Dana. And yes, so the ESN will be in operation for basically the times of day that the trails are open. We won't be operating the ESN network overnight. It'll just be throughout the period of time when trails are open, so that if somebody has, Dana had mentioned an emergency transmission. I'm thinking, if you have transmission trouble out on the trails, that could very well be an emergency. We've had axles come out. We've had wheels fall off. We've had all kinds of equipment failures on Jeeps, but most of those seem to happen on a night ride. In any case, if somebody has trouble out there on the trails, someone qualified with access to emergency contact information will be monitoring during the hours of operation for the trails during the Jeepfest. So if we do hear someone call out with an emergency, I would ask that everyone stand down and clear the airwaves for that emergency traffic. Allow for the emergency standby net control operator to come on and handle that traffic. So our people are prepared with contact information for various emergency services, and that will be the most effective way. And rather than having 2 or 3 or 4 people trying to jump in and help somebody figure out what the emergency is. But also be listening and monitoring, because you may be in a position to provide additional information. If somebody breaks down on a trail and they don't know exactly where they're at, you might be able to know, based on the map that you have or the memory that you have, what part of the trail that they're on, so that we can get better responses from any emergency services. So be listening in and be ready to help out if needed, but otherwise, please clear the airwaves and allow the ESN operator to take control and handle the emergency. And I think we can provide an excellent level of service for the Jeep community while they're visiting our region, and we can stay out of the way of operations on the grounds. So good stuff. Bring your radios, play Jeep for the weekend, have a lot of fun, be careful, make sure that you remain hydrated, bring some bug spray, bring some sunscreen, and have a good time. Roger, did I miss anything?
That sounds about it. Last year was my first year at Jeepfest, and I had a lot of fun.
Did you bring bug spray?
You know what? I did not.
Do you wish that you brought bug spray?
I do. Yeah. But I was in a pretty shaded area. Not too many bugs. So I was okay.
Another thing that you might bring, a lawn chair. Yeah, especially like if you're going to volunteer at a trailhead, or if you're going to volunteer at the Sheriff's Command Center, they've got a big old canopy. You can plop your chair down right there in the shade. You can be right in the mix of things, because nobody's really hanging out inside their vehicle. They're all kind of hanging out outside. So you'll be right there. You'll be able to have an awareness of things that are going on. They can tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, can you tell the GMRS radio folks about this trail being closed or this other thing that's happening or whatever information they want to convey, you can be the guy that hands that traffic off to the network. So these are all volunteer roles. If we don't have anybody, there won't be anybody. That's kind of how that works. Let's break. But hopefully there will be plenty of people to cover all of those needs at the Sheriff's Jeepfest. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and looks like 306, Atlanta 306 George in Loganville was our first one to check in today. George, are you planning on going to the Jeepfest this year? You never know if they check in on a radio and then they switch to YouTube. There's about a half a minute of latency there.
Yeah.
So you always have to wonder if they're going to come back and try to call out after we come back on the air. Atlanta 306 George, if you're there, we're waiting for you to come back, and if you do here in the next couple of seconds, we'll jump into that. Otherwise, we'll move on. Atlanta 306.
Yeah, if you're hearing everything that you hear on YouTube is at minimum 15 seconds in the past.
Yeah, I think it might even
sometimes longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Not hearing Atlanta 306. We're going to show him as in and out and continue on with tonight's net. That'll bring us next to CW40. Now, I know the log shows that Rogers is next, but we're not going to call him Rogers. He's had plenty of airtime tonight. So we're going to go next to Robert in Nicholson, CW40. This is what happens, Mike, when you let me log.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think Robert is going to be in and out as well, and that may very well have been his intention all along. Same thing is true for McDonough 22, Tim in Stockbridge. I'm pretty sure Tim's not going to make the trek all the way up to Pickens County for the Sheriff's Jeepfest. But Tim often has some interesting insights on things that are going on. And one of the things that I might ask Tim is if he wants to be a guest host next week on our Topic List radio show. Tim could probably do logging from Stockbridge and do a better job than I do. McDonough 22, do you have any comments?
Well, I am here, Justin. I've listened to everybody else. I did check in and out because I'm really not a Jeep person, but and I definitely won't be making it up to Jeepfest. But however, my thoughts and prayers go out to all the participants, or everyone, to have a safe outing. No one suffer any major damage or personal injuries at all, and that the outcome be really good. As I understand, it is a charitable event, so I'm definitely in favor of charity and people that get out and exert their own time and resources in order to do something nice for a good charity. So I'm definitely in favor of that. As far as logging or being part of a net, I don't know. I have to think about that, and you'd have to shoot me some information exactly what would be expected there. I've never done that before.
Me either. Well, we'd have to figure out what works, and I think we could do that. You and I have had some really interesting conversations over the years, and I think that we could probably fill up an evening with some of the stories and some of the experiences that you've had, and I think that would be an interesting program. There's a lot of interesting folks in this network, and we oftentimes don't know that much about the people that are here. Like, for instance, did you know that Atlanta 780 Houston is a veteran, and he used to serve with the Coast Guard?
I knew that he had served, but didn't know it was the Coast Guard.
Yeah,
that's great.
So how many people do you know that have served with the Coast Guard? So that's one of those things you don't really think in terms of the Coast Guard as being one of the services related to those, but certainly they are. So it's very interesting. There's so many people in this network that have talents and skills that we don't really know about, and
then there's us.
Yeah, and it's kind of a shame, because we were just talking about we need to find a fabrication shop.
Yep.
There's probably somebody that knows of one in Dahlonega or works for one or is a fabricator.
If you are a fabricator, I have a very small project. Maybe it's worth your while, but it's semi-network related. But I need a good metal worker.
Yeah. We just need to blow some holes in some steel plate. Not a big deal, but it's bigger deal than it's really more than you can do with hand tools. You could do it, but
yeah,
there are better tools for that. So
and Justin, you may have hit on next week's topic of meet the members. Come on and tell us something that we don't know about you.
We've done several meet the members nets over the years, and so what we run into is guys like Tim have done it 2 or 3 times, and Tim's a little bashful about coming on and telling people about himself again, and I think that's true for a lot of people that they just people aren't really all that crazy about tooting their own horn, but it is a valuable resource to be able to know what some of the resources are available right here. Like for instance, we have a preparedness related store that is very deeply related with North Georgia GMRS. They're kind of an indirect sponsor, right? But if you're going to buy guns or ammunition or hunting or
freeze-dried food,
first survival
aid kits,
survival gear, knives, tactical tools, the Preparedness Depot is a great resource for all of those things, and they're a big supporter of the Rabbit Hole Net, and they're good friends. So great people. Just knowing that how many people didn't know about the Preparedness Depot until I just mentioned it.
Yeah.
So there's lots of stuff within the network where we could support one another and help each other out, or just know that resource is available. Let me break. And so that's good stuff. Tim, do you have anything to follow up with?
Oh, I guess not, Justin. I'm better at answering questions than I am with coming up on stuff on my own, because I never know quite what to say if somebody just says, well, what do you think? So I don't know. It depends on the situation, but send me an email or let me know what's involved, and maybe we can make something work.
All right, I'll have to follow up on that this week, and we'll have a conversation. I think that'd be really interesting. So we'll see if we can make something happen, and yeah, we've got. Meanwhile, we've got to figure out what we're going to do next week. So, have you figured out a topic for next week yet?
Well, one topic that's near and dear to my heart is Simplex. Since I participate in Simplex every Friday night, and I think that's a great way for people to learn about their own radio and their reach as well. So I love Simplex. I love talking about it and making it happen.
We could have a Simplex conversation, even though it won't be a Simplex net. We could certainly talk about what would be probably worth talking about are some of the tips and tricks to get those contacts when you're having trouble, because from the Salad Bowl, Mike is only able to make one Simplex contact,
and that's on a good day.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've tried multiple times.
We're hoping that some additional elevation on his antenna system might change that, but that's a long way to go.
Hopefully, only a month away.
Not everyone's going to put up a 110-foot tower just to do Simplex.
That's right. Nor should they. But I'm in this weird bowl, and I can get out to the north, well into Tennessee, without breaking a sweat. It's just coming back down this way, where most of our members are. I couldn't get Dana or Chuck to save my life.
Your neighbor's got all that heavy equipment. Maybe you could just knock that hill down.
Yes, he's working on it. He's been clearing that hill.
Yeah, I see that.
Every day he's out there with that excavator moving the earth.
And and trees and all kinds of stuff. So it's the landscape is changing. You're probably going to look across there one day thinking, man, I wish there were trees over there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I wish the tower that I was putting up had the elevation that he has.
Right.
He's got a 100-foot elevation benefit that I don't have.
You could put up a 50-foot tower and have more than
It'd
what
be
you have
great,
now.
yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you for that, Tim. And with that, we're going to move on to Chattanooga. 260 Colt in beautiful downtown Dalton, Georgia. Colt, are you going to make the trek to Jasper County and go check out the Jeepfest this year?
This is Chattanooga 260, WSTM 494 from
Jasper
beautiful
You did.
downtown Dalton. That is a giant negative. I don't know if you know this or not, but I guess after COVID, my grandfather owned a chain of tire shops. And one of those does overlanding and custom modifications for off-road vehicles. So we probably build 3 or 4 of those random Jeeps a week in that shop. And I think I've had all the Jeep I ever wanted Jeep in my entire life. They're great vehicles. You can waste every dime you ever have. It's a great experience and an even more an amazing community. Just like North Georgia GMRS, the Jeep community is something else. But yeah, no, not my thing, if that makes any sense. But I will tell you, going back to the custom nets like you have for, the Jeepfest, coming to you from the Mercy Network side, up here in Chattanooga way, we have Ironman every year. And we have a custom net just like what North Georgia GMRS does. It's isolated just for Ironman because there's so much radio communication that occurs. There's so many people involved that they pull it out of the 911 dispatch center and they make their own talk, the main operational center. So it is very similar with what North Georgia GMRS does in the emergency services side. It has the same benefits. But no, sir, no Jeeping for me. I'll be clear. Chattanooga 260.
Very good. Yeah, and Julie used to have a Jeep, and it's something she sold the Jeep before we really ever got involved with Jeepfest. But that was one of those things that she really enjoyed that vehicle. She bought the vehicle at just the right time, and sold the vehicle at just the right time. So, she had it for I think about 3 years, and I think she sold it for I don't know, maybe $1,000 less than she paid for it.
Oh, nice.
So when you can drive a vehicle for a couple of years for $1,000, that's a pretty good deal.
That's a win.
But
that never happens.
Jeep values were on the rise when she bought it. In fact, we went to a dealership and we were looking at new Jeeps. Wasn't seriously looking, but with Norfolk Southern, I'm supposed to get employee pricing from Ford and Chrysler and
Yep.
and well, I think from all the big manufacturers. I don't know where we get the best pricing, but in any case, we're talking to one of the dealers about a Jeep, and he said, "Yeah, we're probably not going to honor employee pricing for that Jeep because we don't have to. We can sell it.
Yeah.
If you don't buy it, we're going to sell it to somebody else tomorrow." And so I thought I didn't know that they were even allowed to do that. I thought you figure out what vehicle you have and you slam down the I get employee pricing. And I didn't think they get to say, "Oh no, you don't." But apparently,
dealers have pretty wide berth to do whatever they want. Almost never in our favor.
Yeah. Well, not only did we not buy the Jeep from them, but we probably won't ever buy anything from them just because that just left a bad taste in my mouth. I thought it was a poor attitude.
Yeah.
But we don't buy very many vehicles from dealers anyway. We typically will buy used.
Well, one of the things that Colt said that I think just piqued my as a good to know is that he runs a tire shop. We were talking about resources. If you need somebody with tires,
oh yeah,
call Colt.
Yeah, I think that's a great suggestion. And they build Jeeps apparently, so
yeah.
there is that. If you've got a broken Jeep, one of the things that's tough if you've got a Jeep and you've got large wheels on it, and maybe you know about this with your truck, getting a wheel alignment.
Yeah. It can be more difficult. I actually have to go to the dealership tomorrow. Not related to tires, but some of those machines won't fit some of the bigger wheels and tire combos, or the width of the whole thing with the offsets and whatnot.
Yeah, and so finding an alignment machine that you can get an alignment done on your Jeep. Now, I come from a day when we used to just break out the tape measure and measure from the back of the wheel on the front of the wheel and crawl underneath and and make little adjustments. But that's really not good enough for today's vehicles. And they talk about things like the death wobble on Jeeps, and that's probably why those things happen, is from people crawling underneath with a tape measure,
saying good enough,
and doing backyard front end alignments. Let me break. But once upon a time, that was the way we did things, and we seemed to work out most of the time. So, all right, Colt. Well, and the Iron Man is something interesting as well that he mentioned. This is kind of a new thing for us. The ESN is, and it's really the intention here is to provide a better level of service to the community. We have a large network of linked repeaters, and I think an important way that we can justify what we have is by showing that we can benefit the community in a way that other radio networks cannot. And so that's part of our function with the ESN, and I think this is a great opportunity for us to showcase what it's capable of, and hopefully we spend the whole weekend and there are no calls for ESN to monitor. That's still a success in my mind. If we're there and we're monitoring and there are no calls to handle, that is a win. But at the same time, if we do need to arrange for medical, for mechanical, for civil interactions to happen with the police or with other emergency services, we'll have the communications tools to effectively relay whatever information from our network to the authorities and be able to get the help needed where it's needed. So that's the intent and that's the purpose. Like I said, something that's new for us. We're going to make some mistakes and we're going to hopefully learn from them as we do. But I think when it's all said and done, we all feel a little bit better about the fact that we're doing more than just playing on the radio. And there's more to what we've built in this network than just a bunch of guys goofing off. Although it's kind of hard to see that from here.
No, we would never.
But good stuff, Colt. With that, we're going to continue on. And next in the list is our brand new member, Atlanta 295. I think he said it was Reno, or maybe it was Rhino. Atlanta 295. Tim in Atlanta. Go ahead.
Control, this is Atlanta 295. Yeah, I'd like to clear it up. My name is Timothy. The courts and the banks call me Timothy, and I'm probably not going to answer the door for either one of them. My friends call me Rhino, like the animal. Background, I'm a journeyman union iron worker, local 387. Hung my book up a couple of years ago, but I spent a lot of time traveling all over this state and all over the United States, in every ball mill, paper plant, powerhouse. I put up that Mercedes-Benz arena from start to finish. Worked for the primary erector during Isbell out there. I'm a nationally certified riggerman, signalman. I went to New York, put up the new LaGuardia Airport. So I would love to go to the Jeepfest. We have a place right there on Burnt Mountain, just down the street, just right down 136 from Pickens County Volunteer Fire Station, right, the next peak over. And but we'll be out of town in Tucson, Arizona for the Stone Show that weekend. But this has been a great experience. I've always wanted to get into some type of amateur radio to start here at GMRS, and you guys, I found you guys quick, and you've been very warm and welcome. I've had a great time. So with that, Atlanta 295, WSJL 977, I'm clear.
All right, Rhino. Well, I'll tell you, I will do my best to make that association as we go forward, and try not to be like the bank, or what was the other entity that called him Timothy?
The court.
The court.
The court.
Yeah.
The banks and
I
the
don't want to
courts.
be like either one of those. I think I'm a lot different than the bank. That should go without saying. But yeah. So Rhino, we'll definitely make an effort to keep that straight. If I forget now and then, don't be afraid to remind me. But welcome to the network, and I got to give you some caution. All right. So one of the things that we've learned in the years of being engaged in GMRS radio, GMRS radio is a dangerous gateway habit to other radio hobbies.
Oh, yeah.
And what I think you'll find is GMRS will get you in the door and it'll pique your interest and you'll want to learn more. And the next logical steps in your radio adventures will be amateur radio. And when you're ready to take those steps, we got plenty of addicts that can help you out along the way and help you with your habits, hobbies.
Correction.
Either way, it's valid and it's a lot of fun. So speaking of hobbies and habits,
I don't know the number. I don't have it memorized, and I'm trying to find the membership roster here. But last I knew, we were somewhere, and correct me if I'm wrong, but somewhere in the 40% range of North Georgia GMRS license holders and members are dual licensed and amateur.
Yeah, and
it's not a small amount.
So there's some things to factor into that number, all right? So one of the things to factor in is that every year we lose members to amateur radio. People that get involved in amateur radio,
yep,
and they move on and they never come back. And that's not a bad thing. I would never consider that to be a failure of any kind. Of course, membership is what supports the network here, and it's how we're able to do cool things. But if people move past a GMRS license and move up into amateur radio, I think that's a great thing. And anything that we can do to support that, we're definitely here for. In fact, along those thoughts, stick around because we'll have an announcement to make at the Chattanooga Hamfest, the GMRS Hamfest. So,
I saw something in the announcements about that, a new entity.
Yeah.
It says.
So we can't really say very much about that at this point in time. The official announcement will come at the Hamfest.
All right.
But very cool. And this Hamfest in Chattanooga, there's a couple of things to know about this. All right. This is the first time we're doing it at this location called the Colonnade, and it is a really, really nice exhibition hall. It way outclasses most of the Hamfest environments that I've seen. Let me break. But the other thing that's cool about the Hamfest is there will be opportunities for amateur radio testing at the Hamfest. So this is a great time to start looking at that. And you might not be ready, Rhino, and that's okay. You don't think that I'm pressuring you, but for others that are out there thinking about it, if you start studying now for your technician or for your general or for an upgrade to extra, you've got just the right amount of time to be well studied in time to be able to go and take your test. Did you hear that, David? Dallas 2-0.
Let's go, David.
The challenge is there. So this is the right amount of time. Take your test at the Chattanooga GMRS Hamfest and become an amateur right then and there. So that's good stuff. But yeah, that's my word of caution to you, Rhino. This is just the beginning of things that you can do in radio. And once you get into amateur radio, there's so many cool things that you can do. You can communicate off of satellites. You can engage in. Did you know you can use old TV satellite dishes for radio astronomy, amateur radio astronomy? I never would have considered that, but people are using SDR radios and old TV satellite dishes to do amateur radio astronomy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You're talking about this big, like 10, 12 foot wide, what used to be in everybody's backyard satellite dishes?
Yeah, people are using those, and they're also using dish network dishes.
Oh, the small, okay.
So, I mean, there's no limit. And what they do
that's cool
is they will coordinate their GPS coordinates for their particular dish.
Mm-hmm.
They pull that data in through an SDR,
mm-hmm.
and then they coordinate the data that they're receiving with receivers at other GPS recorded locations, and they generate this massive phased array that is effectively bigger than that giant dish that was destroyed in South America 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, yeah.
As a phased array.
That's cool.
And let me break. Sorry about that. And yeah, neat stuff. There's just no end to what you can do in amateur radio, and lots of cool science, weather stuff, navigation stuff, APRS. I mean, it's just there's just so much coolness. The latest cool thing in radio is a thing called Meshtastic, and you don't even have to be a ham for that. So be sure and check out Meshtastic. And
there's going to be a forum on that at the Hamfest, right?
Yes, and there's a gathering coming up. Ed, Atlanta 557, if he's listening, will have to come on and tell us about this gathering he's having. It's some kind of a workshop.
Yes.
For Meshtastic. So they'll be
Yes.
putting together a Meshtastic node, and all that you need to do in terms of programming and hardware and etc. We'll be able to learn about at the forum that Ed's gonna do as a classroom thing. A hands-on workshop.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll be, I think that's coming up before the Hamfest. We need to find out more about that and get that in.
Ed's watching on YouTube. He was one of our YouTube check-ins. So Ed, if you're available, come back in the comments and let us know the details for that, the date and time, and we'll share it on the air.
Or come on the air.
Or do that.
Let us know and we'll call out to you. So, all right, good stuff. Well, thank you, Rhino. Glad to have you with us, and look forward to chatting with you. Oh, one more thing before we let Rhino go. Do you have any interest in joining in on a project erecting a tower?
Atlanta 295. That all depends on what joining in details. Spent a lot of time with my back to the sun, so yeah, I'd be interested. You can reach out for sure. I do have quite a lot of knowledge in that area.
That's cool.
Well, that could be hugely valuable. So we poured foundations last Saturday, and so we've got anchors for guys, and we've got a foundation for the tower base. And in a few weeks, we'll be looking at erecting the tower sections. It's a Roan 45, and it could be hugely valuable having somebody with your experience on site and guiding, directing, maybe hands-on, maybe not, but whatever you're capable of. So I'm going to have Mike reach out to you, and we'll see if we can get you on that project. So it's a volunteer project. It's at Mike's place up in Blue Ridge. It's a beautiful drive up there to his place. It's not that beautiful coming back because it's usually dark for me. But
and you're tired.
And I'm tired.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful drive up there, and right there in the Blue Ridge area. So we'll get you hooked up with some more information, and could definitely use some more volunteers on that project. And thank you for that.
Hey, go ahead and reach out to 557 on the mesh, just to close the gap on the Meshtastic thing.
Ed, Atlanta 557. You want to talk about the workshop that you're planning?
Well, good evening, folks. Absolutely. Hopefully you can hear me on mobile. But, yeah, that's exactly right, Justin. On September 13th, we're going to be hosting a Meshtastic workshop. It'll be here in Kennesaw. I'm going to post details on the Facebook page. But it'll be in Kennesaw at the West Cobb Library. It's on a Saturday. And we'll have an introduction to Meshtastic, so people that are interested in it and don't know too much about it can learn. And if you have nodes, you can bring them, and we will help you set it up. We'll help you get them on the air and start participating. If you don't have a node and want one, Cope Jazz 260 is a distributor for for MusiWorks, and he will have some nodes with him that you can buy at a discount. So it's a one-stop shop for anybody that wants to learn or somebody that has some equipment and is having problems and wants to get on the air. And again, that's September 13th, West Cobb Library here in Kennesaw.
Fantastic. Ed, if you think about it, shoot me an email with those details, and I'll see if I can get those added to our weekly announcements. I don't know why that didn't occur to me until now, but it should be there. So we'll definitely get that worked in.
Yeah.
And maybe it is in there, and I just have read it so many times I've forgotten.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
Or at least not the date, anyway.
Well, anyway, if you're interested in Meshtastic, that would be a great place to jump in and come out of it with a working Meshtastic node and learn more about how to play. It's kind of a cool thing because all right, the principles here are you have a communications device that does not depend on the internet. So the idea is that if we have enough of these nodes scattered throughout, they will form a mesh network and be able to pass messages from node to node. Even though you might not be in range of the destination, you can program a message to have the right number of hops to be able to get from your node to another node and be able to have discrete communications over distance. It's not high speed. It's like text messaging, so it's not even voice. But it's fairly robust, and it's not dependent on internet services. Many of these nodes are solar powered, so they're not dependent on a power distribution network. So this is a system that if something like preparedness is an interest to you, this is a system for communication that should be able to withstand most natural events and be operational when other systems are not. So I think that there's a lot of value in learning about Meshtastic and how it works and what the principles are and building a node for yourself. And I think you can get into a node with an enclosure, an antenna, battery, and a solar cell for 100-ish, 125, maybe 150 bucks. You'd have to buy deluxe to spend 150 bucks.
Yeah.
I think.
I hadn't priced one with a panel. That's a great point. But just to get a basic node is like Baofeng territory, like 30 bucks.
Yes.
And then you can get a larger external antenna. You can get a solar panel and a battery, and you probably could get to 150.
Yeah.
But you don't have to start there.
You don't have to start there. You can start very, very cheap. And in fact, I recall, and I don't remember where I bought them from. I bought two.
Yeah.
And my thinking is that I'd like to have one that I can talk to, right? But I got to the place where I was getting lost in the programming, not able to figure it out, so I gave them both to Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have one that works. And so does he.
Yeah.
Neither one of us are using them, but it's cool. It was a cool exercise, and but Ed can definitely help you get to a working unit, and
well, and it's one of those things that it's.
We got a break.
Oh, let's break. It's one of those things, and I don't want to speak for Ed, but in principle, it gets stronger with the more people that are involved. And I think Ed and his group, we can have him give us an exact number, but last I knew there were around 12 or 14 different nodes throughout the metro. And you could imagine that if we were to stand one up here, and then somebody else, over in Canton, and you make these hops strategically, you can get pretty good coverage. Distributed.
I think that Ed's got a decent little network right there around him.
Yep.
And I think that Colt is also working on expanding the network up in the Dalton area. I don't know if the two will ever make that connection, but probably they could.
Maybe at some point, yeah.
And certainly, with the right number and the right saturation of nodes, you can make hops over some distance. But one of the things that I think is really cool about Meshtastic is if you're in a situation where you're in survival mode, right, and you need to get a message out, maybe you need to do that discreetly, and you don't want to make any noise.
Sure.
You can do that through Meshtastic.
Yeah.
Without drawing attention to yourself that you're making this communication, and you can remain discreet, and you can remain undiscovered while you're making these communications, where that's a little tougher to do in two-way voice.
Yeah, with a cell phone or a radio.
Yeah. So I think that there's a lot of value here. And the other thing that's very valuable is this is a simple messaging system that you can just convey simple information pieces that don't necessarily have to have a lot of data around them. And I think the smaller the packet, the more reliable the delivery might tend to be. And so this is a very fascinating technology to me. The practice of it isn't all that interesting. It's the application that I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Thank you, Ed, for coming on and sharing that with us. I appreciate you jumping in here. Next on our list, we have Atlanta 292 Gary in Cleveland. Gary, did you have any comments or questions about Jeepfest, and do you plan to attend? All right, we're going to go ahead and show Gary as in and out and move right along to Gainesville 420. Nick in Oakwood. Nick, did you have any comments for tonight's net, and are you planning on participating in any way at the Jeepfest?
WSFH 294, Gainesville 420. I don't know about the Jeepfest, but of course, Mestastic, and I'd probably got to tie on the end of that conversation right there, because, on this network, I overheard some Mestastic chatter and had to go dive down the rabbit hole, man. And I've got, oh, hang on, let me break. That was my timer saying my cookies in my oven were about to be burning. So, Mestastic, I've got like 6 or 7 nodes right here. I've got one up on my basketball goal in my driveway. The reason why it's up on the basketball goal is because when it was up on the roof, right after I put it on the roof, it needed a firmware upgrade.
Mm-hmm. Checks out.
But now it seems they've got a lot of that stuff ironed out. But then I started with all the different, because I've got the rack wireless one, I've got some Heltex, I've got I just bought one of those T1000 trackers the other day just for fun. And to really see what it's all about. It's just been a fun little hobby just to mess around with. And I mean, the one of my driveways connected to 82 nodes. I've got it on a 5-hop limit, so it's, when I had it up to 7 hops, I was able to send the packet. Well, I don't know if it ever sent because I never got a reply back, but all the way up to Pennsylvania. But I mean, that's kind of discouraged. We don't want to do, you don't want to flood the whole. We want to stay at 5 or under. 5 and under is plenty, But this has been something to mess around with. I don't know. It's a fun little hobby. Yeah, and it's silent. It's quiet. It's radio waves floating through the air. And I'm not going to get into how it does, encryption or little private channels you can have on the side. I mean, it's just a cool little, and then you can 3D print any case, because when you order the boards, on Amazon, $34, you get a $10 3D printer case, or just download the file, print it out yourself. Because I already know if I had a 3D printer, I would improve every single one of these and, upload it. Break. But, I mean, currently, I just now got off the roof, man, because I had to move my ADS-B antenna, because my latest rabbit hole, I don't even know who was talking about some ADS-B signals, but I heard it through the radio somehow. And I've been tracking, decoding ADS-B signals for, like, a flight feeder for FlightAware and, ADS-B exchange, which is earlier today. This thing was monitoring 102 aircraft simultaneously, like at one time, 300 and something ADS-B messages a second. It's just a crazy. I hear airplanes flying over my house all the time. I'll go to the screen, I push on it, and it's planes coming from Japan or coming from Canada, coming from Rome, Italy. Last night there was one from Rome, Italy, 12,000 feet up above my house. It's just wild, man. That's been all I got. WSFH 294 Gainesville 420, standing by.
Oh, very cool. There was a time when my son was involved in the Civil Air Patrol, and I don't remember what night it was, but every week on Tuesday night, we went over to the McCollum Airfield, and the Civil Air Patrol thing was right across the street from that. So we would drop Jordan off and let him go do his pretend Air Force stuff, and then we would go across the street to the airfield. And at that time, you could go out onto a patio right there off the FOB. And you could sit there next to the apron, and you could watch these airplanes coming and going, taxiing around, and landing and taking off. And you could punch in their tail numbers into FlightAware, and you could find all that stuff you're talking about: where they're from, where they're going, what kind of an aircraft it is, how old it is, what engines it has. It just, the amount of detailed information that's publicly available about these airplanes is amazing. And it's fascinating because these airplanes are owned by individuals that are around the globe, or corporations from around the globe, and it's just fascinating to just plug in a tail number and start wondering, what's the story with that airplane, what does it do, who are the people, what are they about, and neat stuff. So flight aware, all of those things, all this radio stuff that we do, we're just such a bunch of nerds, but it's cool stuff. So glad that we were able to interest you. And Meshtastic, he said he was able to see 82 nodes.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It
and
is.
I think that the population density of Meshtastic is growing exponentially, and at some point we're going to reach a level of saturation that may be detrimental. But for now, I think this is a good thing. And I think in terms of a preparedness communications tool, I think it's a very important thing to have. So good stuff.
So Colt came back to us, Chattanooga 260 on YouTube, and said that Atlanta is linked in with Meshtastic, and I think he's meaning his network of nodes up in the Dalton area is linked in with Atlanta.
So one of the
That'd
things
be pretty darn cool.
that can happen with Meshtastic is you can have a gateway that will take traffic off of the mesh, stick it on the internet, and it can pop out somewhere else. So that's one of the methods of making long distance contacts. Now that's dependent on the internet. So if the internet fails, the connection is lost. But a lot of what we're doing in the Meshtastic world does not depend on that internet connection. And so if you have devices in the right places and you have the right number of hops programmed into your messaging, you could certainly make those long distance connections. And Dalton to Atlanta is long distance in one sense, but it's not in another.
Right.
So I think that's perfectly conceivable, within the world of Meshtastic. Let me break. But man, the Jeff light is working out well.
It's very helpful.
Yeah, I'm really.
I did ask him, and I'm waiting on him to come back to us. But if that's entirely on RF hops, or if it's linked in through the internet, so I'm sure he'll let us know. But I'd be curious to see how they've done that.
The power, the RF power on these things is stupid small.
Yeah.
It's amazing what kind of range you can achieve out of such low power. But that's the magic of digital in the radio world, right? So we've in amateur radio we've got all these digital modes, the FT8s and things like that.
Yes.
That excel on passing messages on very low power with very, very high signal to noise ratios, and still being able to get a message through the noise. And if it were analog audio at that level of noise, there's no way we would hear it. Be able to discern what that signal was, but digital can do it, and that's pretty neat. You got an answer?
No, he hadn't come back to us yet.
We'll grab him here in a minute. Meanwhile, let's go see if Atlanta 938, Don in Woodstock. Now, I think Don said he was in and out, but he's checked in a handful of times, and he's right here in Woodstock. I want to find out a little bit more about Don. Don, are you with us?
Yes, sir, I am, Nick.
Well, Don, you've been kind of lurking in the shadows on Thursday nights here for a little while. I just thought I'd see if I could get you on the air and find out a little bit more about you. You've been with North Georgia GMRS for a little while, but was it just been this year? All right, Don went silent on us. Was it me? All right. All right, Don. Well, it's not the first time I've dealt with rejection like that, but that's okay. I'm just kidding. Not sure what's happened, but we lost you there. If you're able to get back in, definitely give it a try. We'd love to have a little conversation with you and find out a little bit more about you. And and how we might be able to plug you in and make things work for you right here in Woodstock. So it'd be great to get to know a neighbor. Next on the list, I've got Chattanooga 84 Jim in Hickson. Jim, are you planning on attending the Jeepfest?
Net control, you guys keep doubling.
Do we step on him?
All right, did I step on Don? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, sir. He's commenting while you're talking, and sort of vice versa.
All right, Dana, thank you for that. Don, let's try this again before we move on. Go ahead and respond to your first response, and let's see if you have any plans for Jeepfest.
I'm not seeing any traffic.
If he's watching us on YouTube and in answering, that might be what's going on, because there's so much delay in YouTube.
I might call out to him again.
Don, Atlanta 938. Not sure why we're not hearing anything, but we're definitely not hearing anything. So we'll give you one more try here, and then we're going to have to move on. Atlanta 938, Don?
This is Atlanta 938.
There he
Can
is.
you hear me?
There we go. Yeah, we called out for you several times, didn't hear anything. Dana says that we kept stepping on you, and that's why we didn't hear you. So let's try this again.
Yes, sir. The mesh tactic is very interesting to me. I'd love to learn more.
Well, I'm not sure if you're on the Facebook page or not, but Ed has a post up there with the details regarding the Meshtastic class. That he's actually going to rent a classroom and hold a workshop. So look for that information on our Facebook page, and you can call out to Atlanta 557 most days. He does some volunteer work, but he's retired, so there's lots of opportunities to catch him on the air. But you can call out to him through the weekday and get more information from him too about the coming class. Was that in September?
Yeah, the 13th.
So 13th of September, you've got a little bit of time to figure that out. You probably want to reach out to either him or Colt and acquire some of the materials so that when you show up for the class, you'll have some stuff that you can put together and come home with a working Meshtastic node. So definitely check that out. And Don, were you planning on attending Jeepfest at all?
No, sir. Running around with grandkids doing football and stuff like that.
No, well, Thursday and Friday night are pretty well shot for you then, I suppose. If you're dealing with football and grandkids, that's going to have you tied up. So, man, football season's here, and the weather's starting to turn a little bit. Still got some hot days, but they won't last. It won't be long before we'll be saying, "Man, it's cold out."
Yeah.
What happened to all that summer heat?
It's been getting cooler up in the mountains.
So, very good stuff. Well, Don, it was great talking with you. Hope to have you join in with us some more, and look forward to getting to know you. And probably run into him at some point if he's right here in Woodstock. So, good stuff, and we'll catch up with you down the road. Chattanooga 84, Jim, are you there? All right, we're going to show Jim as in and out and keep right on truck. And next we have CW57 operator Bruce in Stevens. We didn't hear if you were in and out, so I thought I'd give you a shout and see if you're planning on participating in the Sheriff's Jeepfest in Pickens County. That's going to be a wrap.
He's never in, so...
Right. Yeah. One last round of check-ins.
You had a check-in up here. This is before I got to the log, but WSFL 995 for the partial.
That's completely wrong.
Okay, all right.
So just can you do a history on that? Can you look at the previous entry? Because that got overwritten when I put the wrong TAC number in.
No.
Okay.
I would not be able to get the history on just one cell.
Okay.
With everything that's come after it.
Yeah. All right, not hearing anything from Operator Bruce. We're going to continue on. That's the end of our roster for check-ins tonight, so we're going to go ahead and open up the floor for any additional questions or comments. This will be Pamela's opportunity to check in because we didn't hear from her earlier.
That's right.
So, Pamela, if you'd like to check in, anybody else would like to make a late check-in, any questions or comments, Net Control standing by. Floor is open.
The ROB 245 Atlanta 849 with a late check-in. Sorry I had company and I couldn't get in earlier, but I've enjoyed what I've listened to. And I just want to remind you, don't forget about them fried apple pies at Biggins this Saturday, and I'll see you there.
Chatting 260 comment.
All right, Net Control acknowledging Atlanta 948 and a comment from Chattanooga 260. Let me go to Pamela, and the fried apple pie. It reminds me a few years ago when we were all working at the flagship site. Uncle Mike from up around Cherry Log would very oftentimes show up with a bag full of fried apple pies, and I don't exactly know where they came from, but I know that Biggins was mentioned a time or two related to the fried apple pies. So those were always tasty. I'm looking forward to a fried apple pie on Saturday at Biggins.
I'll have to get one for there and 2 or 3 to take home.
Yeah. So that definitely, I think that's going to be the case too. I'm going to have a couple of take-home fried apple pies. And the biggest challenge is, I think, there's going to be so much good food there that I'm going to want a little bit of everything. That's what you need as a sampler. When we used to go to the potluck at church.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is, if you're going to a potluck, you're going to want this idea. This is the best idea ever.
Oh boy.
Instead of bringing your own paper plates and plastic spoons and that sort of thing to the potluck, instead you bring a muffin pan.
Okay. And that's your plate?
That's your plate.
Uh-huh.
So you have, instead of having a plate, you have a bunch of little bitty compartments, and you can have some of this potato salad, some of that potato salad, some of the other potato salad, and you can figure out which one is your favorite.
Okay.
You can have many small portions of anything that you want at the and because the portions are small, it's okay that you've had 12.
Right.
So bring a muffin pan when you go to the.
That's
what I want to do
clever.
at Biggins. I want to bring the muffin pan. I'm not sure that's going to work, but that's what I'm wanting to do. We've been here for 15 years and I've never been to Biggins.
I've not been to Biggins.
Yeah, so
it's a little hike for me, but
we're gonna have to check. You go by it twice a week.
They're
probably closed.
They're closed at least when I go home. Yeah. I'm usually running late on my way here, so
that's right. But definitely,
I do drive by it.
And what a cool thing! Pamela's regular luncheon event is coincidentally on the same date. So rather than try to compete with that, Pamela said, "Let's just go join them."
Yeah.
And I think that's great. So what that's done, Pamela, is that's inspired the Rabbit Hole folks and the Northeastern guys. And I don't know that I've not heard from Ronnie in the Champions group as to whether they're coming, but yeah, I that's a bit of a trek from Chattanooga.
It is, yeah, that's a hike.
But they're welcome to. Let me break. But that's kind of given everybody the idea that, hey, let's just let's set ours aside this time and let's go on over to Biggins. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to a big turnout. I talked with the staff at Biggins, and if we are able to use the patio, we can pretty much do whatever we want if we want to rearrange tables and stuff. But I think that probably it's best because even if you line up all the tables in a row, who can you talk to once you sit down?
The 4 or 5 people right next to you,
that's
or
it.
across from you.
So we may as well just leave the tables where they are, and let's sit down and eat our food. And then when we're done eating, we can get up and walk around and mingle and visit with as many people as we can. So rather than rearrange the tables, and of course, if we end up sitting inside because it's just too stinking hot, we can do that. But inside, we are specifically not allowed to move tables around. So just bear that in mind. If we're inside, we need to leave the furniture alone. But outside, we have permission, but I think it's probably best that we just leave things as we find them. And we'll just have to visit with folks before and after we eat. It's counter service is what I understand. So you're gonna, when you get there, go ahead and put the order in for your food. And then I don't know if they're going to bring it out to us when we're ready, if we have to go pick it up. But in any case, I've heard a lot of good things about Biggins, so I'm looking forward to some good barbecue.
Well, one more thing to look forward to. I've been made aware that the Velvet Elvis will be there this Saturday.
Fantastic. Is he bringing anybody?
He didn't say that much, but he will be there.
That's fantastic.
But maybe Jordan's in LJ. I think that's a very short, or around LJ. That's a short distance. So
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Well,
looking forward to seeing you, Ronnie.
Looking forward to it, definitely. Be great to see you again and shake a hand and pat a back and that sort of thing. So, all right. I wonder, do you know if is Charlie Victor 2 times going to be there?
I've not heard from him.
Yeah, we're gonna put the inquiry out and see if he's planning on being there. But all right. Well, that's very good stuff. I've lost my log. It must be right around here somewhere.
We've got a comment from Colt, and then we've got some check-ins to acknowledge.
Oh, there it is. Oh, we've got a whole bunch of check-ins to acknowledge.
Yeah,
right.
YouTube's lit up tonight.
All right. Well, Pamela, did you have anything else before I go to Colt?
Well, yes, sir. I appreciate you asking. Yes, I was going to say, I know Ronnie's coming because he and I said we were going to have a tussle with the fried apple pies. We spoke the other day, and so I wanted to make sure they had plenty of apples for fried apple pies. So I actually spoke to somebody a few days ago just to make sure and warn them that they had a lot of apple pie lovers to make sure they had plenty. And the lady said yes and confirmed that they will have plenty of pies for us, so we won't have to have a little wrestle match about that. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say.
That's good.
And I'll let it go back to the net. Enjoyed it.
Well, if I knew it would cause a wrestling match, I might go up there early and buy all the apple pies. I think that might be worth the price just to watch. I don't know. Maybe I won't. That's good stuff. Well, let me go ahead and get over to Colt. Then we'll acknowledge some of these YouTube check-ins. But Chattanooga 260, I'm guessing you've got something to say about Mashtastic.
Chattanooga 260. I hate to interject. I try to be less of words these days and more than words. But I can tell you how we did it if we would have done it, in the words of O.J. Simpson. We have activated the old long line, AT&T long line locations, because there are people who were smarter than us in the 1940s and 50s that cracked the code on where these repeaters needed to be. So Dugout Mountain has been reactivated. Fort Mountain has been reactivated. Copper Hill, Cleveland, Chattanooga, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold with Meshtastic nodes. We've also reactivated Fairmount, Adairsville, some Somerville stuff, and Rome. That being said, we've worked with Murray County EMA, Walker County EMA, Whitfield, Catoosa, and Dade County, and they have nodes on all of their towers. The missing link was Gordon County, and once those nodes were placed in the last couple of days, we are now getting real-time data back and forth in Meshtastic. So if you're running long, fast, you can talk to pretty much anybody in real time. That being said, there's a lot to unpack there, but if you're looking to get into Meshtastic, there are a bunch of people in this network who are way smarter than you who can help you along with that. But the grid is open and running forward.
That's awesome.
All right, well that's pretty cool then. The long lines sites for the win. You know, Sassafras was an AT&T long lines site.
Mm.
Do you know where Sassafras is?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that site is?
Yeah.
That's the bunker and that short tower right next to Flagship.
Yes.
So once upon a time we were on Sassafras, and that was a great location for us. But then the property ownership changed, and so we had to find another site. And I think we scored big.
Yeah.
With Flagship.
Literally.
So that was an interesting site. That building, that concrete building has walls that are just incredibly thick. And I understand the ceiling is the same way. It's built to be able to withstand like a nuclear strike. And
a lot of those old AT&T buildings are getting repurposed these days. I think I was showing you one that had a bunker on it that was an old landline building.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was you. That goes down like 400 feet or something like that. Has a jet engine generator in it.
Yeah.
It's an old long lines building.
Cool stuff. So yeah, if you're looking to fabricate a bunker to bug out to,
Mm-hmm.
that would be a prime choice, I would think. And some of those, you know, we're at the place where if it's not an effective cell location, then there's no radio to go on it, right? So the pager industry is done.
Yeah.
The most two-way radio stuff is being put on county-owned towers, or privately owned towers. Nobody's really wanting to locate on those old towers, and some of those towers are really, really long. But in any case, those towers are old. But in any case, they could be an effective location for a hobbyist, for an amateur that is wanting to have the functionality of the bunker building, because old as those buildings are, they're going to stand for a long time.
Yeah, they'll be here beyond us.
Yeah. So good stuff. All right, let me go ahead and acknowledge the this last round of check-ins. We've got a dozen or so from YouTube here. We've got Rome 11 Mark in Adairsville is a YouTube check-in. Atlanta 420 William in Roswell. Atlanta 1196 Philip in Ackworth. Atlanta 557 Ed in Kennesaw. Atlanta 379 Scott in Sandy Creek, New York. A guest check-in from WSJC 660 Alan in Amuchi. How do you say that?
Yep. You sounds good.
All right. I'm probably saying it wrong, but I'm betting that everybody that knows where it is knows what it is. So thanks for checking in with us tonight, Alan. Rome 12 Mark in Rome is a YouTube check-in. Chattanooga 69. The Velvet Elvis checking in from Las Vegas. We have WSJF 982 Joe is a guest check-in tonight. CW33 Tom in Bogart. WRUK 962 Mr. Roman in Northern Idaho. Guest check-in on YouTube tonight. WSGM 321 Gerald is a guest from Dallas, Georgia. WRXU 242 John in Philadelphia. And we have a guest check-in from WRWB 802 Larry in Colorado. Let's break. So thanks everyone for checking in tonight and hanging out with us as we talk about Jeepfest. Rogers, did you come up with a topic for next week?
Not a conclusive topic, but I would love to talk about not Jeepfest, but Simplex. But I like what Gary said also about getting to know some of the members as well. So, this may be a good net for those who may not have checked in, but maybe a member or maybe a guest, check in and, make your voice heard a little bit.
All right. Well, I think that's going to be the program. We're going to be down one next week, so you'll have to put up with probably with me logging, however well that works.
You know what they say, or you know how to do it. Just go very slow.
Yeah, and the network has been great about accommodating my handicap, so I really have to say thanks
on weeks where I'm gone
to all of you for that. We've come a long way. I can remember the time when we would just get so frustrated at trying to log all the users checking in so quickly, and it was really, really nerve-wracking. That is something that has just tremendously improved, and the members themselves have gone the extra mile to make sure that they minimize the doubles and the step-ons, during check-in stuff. So that's been fantastic. All right, so I need to switch to this page over here.
Well, while you switch, you do that. A couple updates from the YouTube chat. Ronnie does say that Jana, Chat 70, is coming, and he thinks that Chattanooga 253 is coming as well this weekend. I think that's Roy.
Okay.
I think Roy's 253. Mark says it's Armurchie, Georgia.
I think I've heard Armurchie. Armurchie. Is it Armurchie or Amurchie?
Well, that's how he provided sort of the pronunciation as Armurchie.
Okay, Armurchie. All right.
So I'm gonna go with what he says there.
I like it. Thanks for that. I don't know if I'll remember it, but I'll make an effort. So I guess that's the key. If you have a town name that is maybe not easy to pronounce, you should definitely check in and make me say it.
There was one in Tennessee that got you for like a month. I forget the name of the town, but it'll come to me later.
Yeah, it most likely will. All right. Once again, just a reminder that Atlanta 7-3, thoughts and prayers to the family. Ed Marsden has passed on, and we're definitely going to miss him. The Atlanta Jeepfest, the Sheriff's Jeepfest in Pickens County is coming up at the end of the month. If you'd like to volunteer for that, send me an email, justin@nggmrs.org. Let me break. And next week's net is going to be all about, what's it about?
Simplex.
Why is that so hard for me to remember? Simplex and get to know your neighbors. So be sure and check in next week. We're going to have Rogers kind of lead the program next week.
All right.
And
all right.
We'll have a little different change of pace here, but I think it'll be good. So with that, I'm going to say this concludes the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight we had a total of
67 chickens.
67 chickens, including myself and those of us here in Net Control. We'll now be returning the repeaters back to normal use. Everyone who signed in should sign out. Don't forget, like and subscribe. And remember, comments on YouTube video shows engagement with the video and helps the channel to grow. Tune in next week on any North Georgia GMRS linked repeater or on the YouTube live stream when we talk about Simplex and getting to know your neighbors. Thanks for allowing us to serve as your net control this evening. Good night, everyone. This is Atlanta 946 WQYR 514. My name is Justin.
And this is WRWM 344, Blue Ridge 63. My name is Mike.
And this is WSAL 368, Atlanta 263. My name is Rogers.
And this is WRUB 711, Atlanta 519. My name is Gary.
We are North Georgia GMRS Network.
And we are clear.
Good night, everyone.